Hey everyone, it's Rocky Mountain Cigar Show here, and welcome back to another live episode of the Rocky Mountain Cigar Show. Quick little shout out to all of the sponsors that make this show possible. Drew Estate, Smokin.com, K by Karen Berger, BAMF Cigars, and Christoph Cigars, as well as, of course, New Air Humidors. If you're in the market for a humidor that's never going to let you down or fail, definitely jump over to newair.com, grab my promo code in the description below, and save 15% off your humidor. While you're there, go to BAMFcigars.com and use my 15% off promo code and fill that brand new humidor that you bought. As well, we have a brand new show sponsor. I spent last night with the boys over at Axon Oak Distillery, and we have a brand new sponsor coming on. The name of the sponsor is Axon Oak. This is a distillery here in Colorado Springs, and it just so happens to be, long before I even ever talked to them, one of my wife and I's, if not my wife and I's, favorite bourbon that's made out here in Colorado. So definitely check out Axon Oak. They are available nationwide, so see if your local liquor store can order some in for you. It is absolutely fantastic. And as you can see over here, they've got a huge lineup of different whiskeys, as well as some different gins too. So definitely check them out. If you see them at a place to purchase, do me a favor, buy it. You will not be disappointed. I currently tonight am drinking their Axon Oak Pikes Peak Hillshine, but this is aged and finished in Lafroig Scotch barrels. So it does leave that really, really great scotchy peatiness to it, especially since it's a Lafroig barrel. But overall, it's fantastic. Cheers to the team over at Axon Oak. Welcome aboard, and I'm looking forward to all the great things. We're going to be doing a distillery tour with them to kick off officially the sponsorship deal that we're doing with them. More of a partnership, to be honest with you. And we're going to be doing a distillery tour. We're going to do a round table while we're there. And to go with my scotch tonight, as an ode to Kevin Shahan, who everybody knows from Cigar Prop is on tonight, I'm actually going to be smoking his Back in Black, made by Espinosa and Kevin. So without any further ado, tonight, guys, we've got a great show. We're going to be doing an influencer program, or what we have an influencer show, where we have Kevin Shahan, Danny Ravanelli, and I hope I pronounced that right. I butcher last names like nobody's business. And Kevin Shahan from Cigar Prop as well. So we're going to be getting into kind of the ins and outs of where the cigar influencer world is going right now and the concerns that we have around it, and what are some avenues that everybody watching this can take to stay in contact with all of their favorite cigar content. If not mine, definitely Kevin's and Tim's. And then Kevin's got something fun to bring up as well, and I'll let him go ahead and introduce that once we get to that time. But without any other further ado, let's go ahead and bring on the top influencers inside the cigar universe right now. So we have Kevin Shahan coming on. We have Cigar Show Tim coming on. And then we have Danny Ravanelli. Let's see if I can't get him on. There we go. Hey, everyone. How you guys doing?
Are we on? Oh, crap.
I think we're on.
That 5-minute intro, I wandered off for a couple of minutes, and I forgot I was doing a show.
I've got to give my audience time to stop watching other shows and come over to mine, right?
There you go.
You know what the attention span of people nowadays is? I'm not sure what it is, but it's less than 5 minutes.
Sure is Mike. What's going on, brother?
Yeah. I totally understand.
That's okay. That's okay.
I think everybody watching this program at least knows the four of us. But real quick, kind of just give a quick little run through, quick little elevator pitch about yourselves. Kevin, go ahead.
My name is Kevin, and I have crap. I forgot to turn the
Not clean.
yeah, I know, not clean audio on. And all right, somebody else go ahead. Let me clean up this.
All right, I'll go.
Hit this.
Oh, this is great. Oh, Kevin's gonna hang up and be done tonight, and he's gonna be like, "This is the only thing he's gonna focus on."
That's it. Tim, you're up.
All right, I'll go. I'm Cigar Show Tim. I'm Tim Long. I've been doing content for nearly 4 years now. Started with another channel called Dad Smoking Cigars. Did that for a year and a half. Broke off onto my own channel that I've had for nearly 2 years now. And I put out a review each week and talk about cigars and my thoughts on it. And Danny, you're up.
Daniel Ravanelli, 505 Cigar Review. I used to have a show on YouTube. It has now kind of been moved around to multiple different platforms now to get the content out. My show started in September of 2020, and I've been a cigar smoker for 22 years, and I used to work within the tobacco industry a long time ago before my current job I've had for 14 years.
All right, I am Kevin from Cigar Prop, and in the words of Ron Burgundy, I'm kind of a big deal. I used to do cigar reviews, but I stopped doing them after Tim Long started doing cigar reviews, and I realized what cigar reviews were supposed to be like, and not how I was doing them. So I stopped doing. Now we can have fun.
There we go. I told you all backstage we were going to see what kind of trouble we could get into.
That's it. So I stopped doing cigar reviews. Mainly, we have a company, Cigar Prop. We manufacture some cigar accessories. We have a live show. Maybe it'll be back on YouTube soon. I don't know, but it's all over the place. So yeah, we just do that. We just started a cigar company called Trash Panda Cigars. So we'll be diving a little deeper into that this year, and we've got a lot of cool stuff in the works.
Sweet. So I guess we just take over the show now because Ryan disappeared.
Yeah. So what's everybody smoking tonight?
Ah, crap! I knew you were going to ask that. So, Danny, you go first.
I am smoking the Highclere Castle Victorian tonight.
Nice. So I'm smoking a cigar that I'll be honest is a blend that is coming out soon. I don't have anything to do with it, but I am sampling it and testing it, so I can't reveal what I'm smoking, but it's good.
Right on. And then
what a great time for my internet to just completely crash. Wow. I tell you, living up here in the mountains is a little rough sometimes. I can't believe it. This is ridiculous. Okay.
Yeah.
That's all right. The show's in good hands, so go on ahead, get the feet up. You know.
You've got seasoned veterans that are on the screen, so we'll carry you. Hey, last week we were all watching and we got to sit. No, try this. Nope, have him try that. Nope.
Yeah.
Okay, there we go.
Come on, Tom, unmute.
So right on. I am smoking. I don't know if we want to get into it now. He can't hear us, can he?
I don't know.
I don't think he can.
Ryan,
there we go. There we go. No. I logged in on my cell phone and my headset connected to the phone, and then I had to put it back to the computer. The technology is great when it works, but it sucks when it's weird. But anyways, yes, these guys, this group helped me out a lot last week with Tom Lazuka. I had Kevin instant messaging me. I had Danny over here chatting with me. I had Tim over here throwing stuff down. At one point in time, Kevin felt so bad that he goes, I'll jump on the show. And we'll just do it that way. So great. Everyone's introduced themselves. Awesome. I don't know any of you guys, so we're going to have to do that all over again.
Yes.
No.
But anyways, going to what he's smoking because he was just starting that. So.
And I don't understand why this chat comment is up and I can't take it down. So I guess Ish gets to be the only person that gets to lay chats out right now because this is weird. But anyways, let's go ahead
for the rest of the show.
Yeah, right. Let's go ahead and talk through. So I want to kind of just start with kind of the elephant in the room, right? And that's what the hell is going on inside of YouTube's thin head. That for one, I'm not even talking about myself, but the two guys up here have a lot more viewership than I ever have, but even taking off Brian Glenn, he posted 48 million minutes or something like that over what 12, 13 years of talk time. Like, it is absolutely ridiculous, and they are now just too bad, so sad. Goodbye, everybody. Thanks for your time. We've made money off of you. So let's kind of just. I want to really hear what everyone's opinion is on this.
It's their platform. At the end of the day, that they pick
true.
and choose. You know, it's definitely a left wing platform. You know, how can they take us off? But they can, you know, you look Pharrell Williams. You know, has the video up there, blurred lines. You know, but it's a music video. All the women are completely topless in the entire video. That's allowed because it's art. It's art. You know, but yeah, and then smoking weed and doing all this other stuff. That's, you know, that's
Bullying,
not allowed. But
kids, all the stuff.
But yeah, but we're not allowed. It's just it's absolutely insane. You know, I don't have any, you know, I don't have an explanation. We gotta suck it up. We're on a platform that we don't own, and what are we gonna do? It sucks that for years that we, like you said, Brian Glenn has brought so many people to YouTube. And you know what happens when you're on YouTube? You stay on YouTube. You watch other videos, and that's how they make their money. You know, so why they would want to get rid of content creators that they're not paying? It's like firing an employee that you don't pay, but he shows up every day and does a great job, and you don't have to pay him, and then you fire him because you don't like his shoes.
I just fired the greatest intern in the world because he made me money, but I don't like the way he combs his hair.
Yeah,
I mean, it's dumb.
Well,
but you know what? It like you said, Kevin. I mean, it's privately owned. It's their own platform, and they can decide what they want. The part that frustrates me, I mean, there are multiple, but the main part that frustrates me is that they have a very clear agenda, and they keep changing what they define. Literally, it seems like weekly. When I got my first and second strike in the past couple weeks here, I mean, I looked at the fine print in my email, and never before had I seen in the fine print where it says, or if you recommend or talk about a substance that could be perceived as addictive with nicotine, whatever it is, if you even recommend it or give your thoughts on it, that's considered contraband now. And I'm like, wait, what? So tobacco's bad, weed is good, and everything else is fine, but just us. And it's ever changing. It's fluid. And I mean, we saw it coming. Kevin, you and I talked almost exactly a year ago about this exact thing because we saw it coming.
Yeah,
absolutely. And Danny's got an interesting story. They made rules up to get rid of Danny that aren't even in the T's and C's.
They did. They made up rules. You know, when I got the email that told me which subsection, paragraph, and everything I violated, when I went to their physical T&C and tried to find it, it wasn't there. And when I called them on it, they sent me the entire PDF file that basically stated that this will go into effect on June 1st, but it is retroactive to January 1st and can be enforced earlier than the June 1st date if there are content creators who are grossly negligent in breaking this rule. And so, according to them, I was grossly negligent because I found a bypass around their rules that wasn't breaking the rules. I just kind of went around the no walking sign. So, yeah, so they hit me with a 30-day suspension after the 7-day suspension came down. So, within a half hour, it went from pulled video, 7-day suspension, 30-day suspension.
Yeah, and they act quick. I mean, Kevin and I were texting when Drew Estate announced the new Nica Rustica Adobe, which I called most of the blend. Kevin called what it was a line extension for. But I changed the name on that video from Freestyle Live, cigar review to Nika Rustica Adobe, because obviously I want to be in the SEO. I want to be, searchable and findable. And literally within about 5 minutes of changing the name on it, first strike for violation. Not strike, I'm sorry, the age restricted, even though it was already age restricted. They don't waste time.
No.
It's absolutely insane.
It is. I uploaded my last review for Classic Sticks. Danny did a review with them as well. And within minutes, I was still adding stuff. It wasn't even a public video yet. And I was still adding stuff. I clicked public premiere, and within seconds, flagged age restricted. And I'm like, it's already age restricted. All my stuff is. And they pulled the video. They said because I gave a website that somebody could buy something at. But if they would have actually did their own research instead of just being little bitches, you can't buy anything on classicsticks.com. You have to click somewhere to go to another website that's not even there. So I didn't even point somebody in the direction of buying anything. I pointed them to a website.
Yeah, it's crazy. And like Tim said, it's been almost exactly a year, that we talked about this. And Tim and I, we started backing up our channels to another platform, Odyssey. And, and that's when I really buckled down and started hammering it on, LinkedIn, started getting more on Instagram, eventually got on to TikTok and trying to expand my reach as fast as humanly possible. Because I knew once this came down, it was really gonna hurt. And luckily in that year, my reach has, just exploded. Mm-hmm. So it doesn't hurt me as much as it does a lot of other content creators, because a lot of people will search for my content, if they can't find it on YouTube. Yep. And I've had other people just find me on Rumble. Like, hey, I just came over to Rumble and just checked to see if you were over here. And you were, and I subscribed and watched a video, so which is good, But yeah, it hurts a lot of content creators.
Well, I mean, look at it this way, and I said this in my video when I said that YouTube killed cigar reviews. The cigar industry has gotten so used to YouTube being a huge marketing machine that a lot of their, not even call it marketing dollars, a lot of their marketing efforts are now being taken away for, frankly, a violation of a gray area where the wording is not really specific and it's kind of inferred, but it's not spelled out in black and white. And I expect that next month it's going to be spelled out in black and white personally.
Oh, yeah. They're coming for everyone.
The industry marketing is going to have to change and pivot dynamically and in a huge way. And I said in my video, like the school districts had to when COVID shut down schools, and they had to figure out how to finish out a school year.
Yeah, and it's not only the marketing departments of companies, it's also the content creators are going to have to. And we all know some of those content creators out there. They've picked their platform. They bet they went all in on YouTube, and that's it. And and I've been watching it, and I'm like, a couple of the guys, I've reached out and I go, I told you this was going to happen. We're friends, and I'm like, you're an idiot. I told you to get on Instagram. I told you to start doing other stuff. But now, if you'd listened to me a year ago, you would be in a little bit better position. Now you have to learn. You have to learn Instagram. You have to learn TikTok. You've got to learn how to make it on Facebook. And it sucks for, and a few of those guys, they've already said in their videos, they're just going to give it up. They're just going to stop creating content. I'm like, it's definitely the easier way out than having to start completely over from scratch.
Oh yeah, but TikTok is even cracking down.
They are
videos of me smoking a cigar. I get hardly any views, but one where I'm talking about the Super Bowl and hey, I'm sitting down relaxing, gets hundreds and hundreds of views more, and I'm like, okay, they're already starting it. So at what point is it just going to be a universal thing where there's going to have to be another avenue, or somebody is going to have to come in and just say, this is the solution, here it is, screw you to everybody else.
So you bring up a great question, a great idea. And there is a platform that built their own entire universe, for lack of no puns intended, the Dojo verse. They built their own little Facebook. They built their own platform, website, just in case this happened. Do you think that's where like everybody's going to eventually have to go, and
No.
like, are we going to have to like rent space on stuff and be able to do all of this?
No, I don't think so, because I mean, yeah, it's kind of like a Facebook, but it doesn't go any deeper, than that, and I think if the site was flooded, with people, like, where do we upload our content? Are they going to store, our video? Are they going to store, tens of thousands of multi-gigabyte videos on their platform? They're not ready for that. Like I said, Tim and I, we have our own websites. It costs me a couple $1,000s a year to have the space that I have. I mean, like I said, I have 2 physical servers in a room somewhere, so, and once those are full, I'll have to buy another one, so there's no way that, some of the smaller guys are ever going to be able to handle, what,
Oh no, I'm not talking about them handling their stuff. I'm talking about, like, take guys like Danny and I. I don't have a few $1,000s a month to rent a server on a website, store all that. Do you think it's going to go to that point to where if you're going to want to do something related to ATF, alcohol, tobacco, firearms, in some way, that we're going to be just kind of up shit's creek unless we want to put together our entire platform?
I think we're going to have to change our mindset on it, and I don't see, and I've told multiple people this. Rumble is a good Band-Aid for now. It's not the answer, and I don't think we're going to know as a community of content creators what that solution is going to be until enough people jump onto something or something has been created. I mean, look, Pravada created their own. And, I jumped on it just to see what it was like. Even on that one, and I'm not talking bad about it at all, but even on that one, I was told I needed to create a group where I could post my videos and do all of that. So I can't even, from what it sounds like, post my own videos on a Facebook style thing. And that's web-based only. So there's no app, there's no mobile platform that's user-friendly. I don't think we have the answer yet. And I think this is just where we all sort of tread water, and some are going to go underwater and not come back up for air, and others will probably just wait and tread water and really not do much of anything but stay status quo and hope that what they jump onto is the solution. But I don't think we have the answer yet. I don't think we know what the answer is going to be. There's stuff that's in the works. I know I've talked to multiple people that say, I've got webmasters working on a solution, I've got this working on a solution, I've got this, I've got that. I don't think we know what the answer is yet.
I don't think most people can wrap their heads around what needs to, like, to build a platform, another Facebook platform, and cross it with a YouTube. I don't think people can wrap their heads around the tens of millions of dollars that would cost just to build the platform.
Oh yeah,
and then tens of millions of dollars to host that platform. It's there. Like, they're people will pay. Like Dan Thompson, McAuliffe Cigars, is on. I'm sure Thompson would advertise, or Dan with McAuliffe. Same with Bacardi. Same with Jack Daniels. Same, and then as content creators, I'd pay a monthly fee, to have a place. So the money's there, but who's putting up that? Who's gambling tens of millions of dollars in hopes that they can bring in a group of people? That's tough.
And the right group of people. You bring in the wrong group of people at the foundation, and you'll sink. You're done.
Yeah.
Well,
it has to
go ahead, Danny. Go ahead.
I wanted to tag on to what Tim was saying on that about, Band-Aid and we don't know where to go. And I agree with that, because the conversations I've had with people, they think they're just following the lead of what other people right now are doing, because they don't have a plan. I started I started back a few months ago, trying to find alternative platforms where to post, whether long form, short form, to try and diversify where I'm putting the content out at, just because I've heard Tim and Kevin talk for the last year that things are coming down, and we're probably going to be the first snake that they're going to go after. So I started backing up everything. I started looking for other mediums and platforms, but I'm seeing way too many content creators out there now.
Did he freeze up or did
Yeah,
I think Danny, either
Danny
that or
froze
he's
up.
holding a sneeze.
Yeah, right. No, he definitely froze. But yeah, I mean, it's up in the air right now. And one of the things that I'm going to be doing for mine, I'm going to go back old school. I'm going to go, I mean, Kevin's going to get a big smile on his face. I'm going to go Craig Vandersly style, and I'm going to take all of my videos, not all of them, but the videos moving forward, I'm going to have them dictated. Because you can automatically do that. You can capture the closed captions, and I'm going to basically post written reviews, half wheel style, and all the other media outlets, Cigar Craig, that just talks about it almost blog style. I'm going to have all of my reviews on my website video, but I'm also going to have them typed out and dictated so that it's easier to find in searches as well. Going old school for a little bit might not be a bad idea.
Yeah, and me, I'm going the SEO route. Post as many places as humanly possible to where at least I show up, in an SEO search. So if someone is searching for something in particular, you'll eventually find something, and hopefully within the first page or two, you'll find something that I've done on that topic you're looking for, and so just hammering it. But yeah, it's not picking a platform at this point. You need to be picking all the platforms. You need to be getting out there and doing your due diligence.
And Kev, when you and I talked last year, I think it was right after you came on the show, you and I actually had this conversation privately after the show, and you told me about Odyssey.
Yeah.
And so at the time, I had like 10 subscribers and like 6 videos. But now I'm able to do that auto upload thing. So Odyssey's taking like a couple of weeks, I think, now to download everything, I think. But it keeps telling me it's uploading stuff. But
Rumble's in the same boat. I've only got 2/3 of my videos uploaded to Rumble automatically from YouTube. And it could take up to and over a month for them to get everything ported over.
Yeah, it's crazy. I don't know what the solution is. All I know is we've just got a let's see, Dan, if I were you guys, I'd build list of phone numbers to go direct and lead people to wherever your video or written content is hosted. Yeah, without a doubt. For the last couple of years, we've been building a big email list, and I was thankful for that email list when I was finally on Rumble. I sent out an email to all of my people on my list, and within 2 days, I had 400 subscribers on Rumble. In just a couple of days. Once I'm back on YouTube, and I can start, making a couple videos, once every week or so. Hey, make sure you're on Rumble. I'm hoping I'll be back up to the couple of thousand people. But, in the meantime, like I said, I'm just posting Rumble, Odyssey, LinkedIn, Facebook. Just keep pushing the content so someone will see it. Whatever platform you're on.
And
absolutely.
I don't think Brian Glenn moving over, credit to him for doing that. But someone as big as Brian Glenn isn't still going to have the pull to get everybody onto a platform, unfortunately. Just because
totally agree.
Doing it where he goes doesn't mean everybody else is going to, and it doesn't mean that it's the right fit. But it's a Band-Aid.
Yeah, you
totally agree.
Yeah, you look at Brian. He had 135,000 subscribers on YouTube.
I
think
on
over
Rumble, that.
On Rumble, he's got I think last time I checked, it was like 2,000. It may be a little bit more. But how did not 10%? How did not 5% follow you over instantly?
So I could probably answer that question, and it's in Rumble's demise that they do this. So Rumble requires you to build an account to watch a video, period.
Oh, do they?
Yeah, you can't. If you go to log in, you go to like even leave a rumble, a thumbs up. You have to have an account. So what we're asking people to do is move over and then build an account. But I want to address this really quick. Ish of Badass Motherfucker Cigars said that they're actually doing something like this in Germany, but it'll be worldwide for the cigar industry to run interviews and videos 24/7. Do you think that's something that we need to do then, is get maybe some manufacturers together to fork up their own platform to have shows like ours on, and you could have several of them doing that? I mean, at some point in time, my fear is, and I agree with you, Kevin, by the way, I don't like the word influencer anyways, but this was a last-minute show because Mickey Peg ended up coming down sick, so I just threw the word in there. I totally agree with you.
It's a good SEO word, though. It's a great SEO
It is.
word.
It is.
Hey,
It
Ryan,
is.
Is Ryan coming in hot for everybody else?
Yeah, he's overmodulated in my ears also.
Yeah.
Oh, really? Okay, let me turn this down.
Sorry, I'm using technical terms now, but that's just what's up, Kamish? I see you up there in the.
So I don't mind the word influencer. Some people call me a promoter. But at the end of the day, that is what we are. I make a video, and some of the videos are like Tim has a review. But if I do an unboxing, or if I'm trying to get you to buy something, I'm making a video to influence your buying decision.
Sure.
So yeah,
absolutely.
so I don't mind the word influencer.
Is that better?
Yeah, it's better.
Yeah, you're better there.
So
I don't like the word either, but I understand that's kind of what we are, because if Tim does a review, I do a review, Kevin does an unboxing or does an interview with somebody, we may be influencing somebody's decision to buy that brand, to buy the stick, to not buy it. I understand that. I prefer to consider myself, if I influenced you to buy or not buy something, I'm more pseudo influencer than anything else. I'm just giving my opinion.
Yeah, I'm more of a sideshow barker. So, I mean,
you're the guy yelling, popcorns, peanuts, Cracker Jacks, and hey, get this and get this box and get this and do that. Yeah. And influencer, I don't like it because it's overused. Yes. At the core of it, it is what we are. We are influencing. I've had multiple people say, "Oh, because you covered brand X, I now smoke them. Because you introduced me to this website, I now get cigars from there."
For sure.
And it absolutely is influencing. But it is so overused. I mean, how many 18, 19-year-olds are going, "Oh, I want to be a YouTuber. I want to be an influencer for gamers or for this or for that." It's like they don't understand it's too watered down now. I guess that's the way I'll put it, is it's too watered down. Are we influencers at the end of the day? Absolutely we are, because we are here to say this is what we smoked, or this is what we've unboxed, or this is the accessory we've checked out. And if you like it, go check it out for yourself. That is influencing, but it's too watered down of a term for me. And I mean, it's like the word love. You can say, I love, tacos in the same way that you say, I love my wife, and they mean two very different things.
I love them the same. Yes,
yeah. Taco Tuesday is love.
Yeah.
Danny, you and I are very close to the same boat in this. Like we've kind of come into this world together. We've been friends throughout this whole thing. We've kind of grown similarly equal levels. The two guys up here are leaps and bounds ahead of us. So what does this mean for people like us, the smaller guys, the guys that are just literally in their garage? I started out like fucking backyard. What does this mean? Do you think this discourages? And then, knowing what we know now about this, would you have ever gotten into this at this point?
I think for people like us, I think what's going on now is going to weed out a lot.
Oh yeah.
You're going to see a lot of people drop off. I don't think you're going to see a lot want to get into it because of what's there. When I see new channels pop up on YouTube daily, why at this point? Why? You're setting yourself up for a lot of trouble, a lot of heartache, and you know, I think it's going to weed out the mediocre and the casual reviewer or content creator will be weeded out. I think the people who have dug their heels in on this, regardless of the size of their channel, are going to stick with it. I don't see them bailing, because at this point we have too much time. We've put in too much money and too much effort into what we have built to just go, you know what, I'm done. It's not worth it. I'm not willing to wave the white flag on this. I just think that, you know what, I have to change how I do things. I have to diversify where my content's going, where I put my time at, and you know, I'm gonna continue to dig in, you know, and you know, I was one that didn't think that YouTube at this point was going to care about me, you know, where I'm at channel wise.
I was shocked how hard you got hit when I hadn't even been hit at all. I'll be honest.
Same here.
So, you know, getting the hit, but you know, you got to remember, I was hit because I'm a non-monetized channel monetizing off of unapproved YouTube sponsors or advertisers. That's why I was hit. Now, I don't have the 1,000 subscribers on YouTube, but I have their watch hour. The watch hours are there. So I meet one of their criterias for their monetization factors on that. So I meet that.
It's going to come down to how much of you, I mean, Kevin is a perfect example of it. He's got the studio that he's in now. He built that. He spent money, you know, paid a contractor to do it the right way. And now having his reach be significantly limited is challenging. Yeah, I've dumped in, you know, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of dollars into this, built my own studio, did all of that. I'm in thousands of dollars. Kevin and I have talked about this multiple times. And like you said, Danny, it's going to be the people that go, you know, I've dug my heels in. This is what I enjoy doing. So I'm going to find a way to continue. And I want to correct one thing that was said about Rumble earlier. I don't know that you have to log in to watch it, so I'm not going to say that part's not correct. If you embed a video into your website, you can go to my website, tobaccotalkmedia.com, and you can watch the videos, and it's like a 10-15 second ad, and then you can watch the entire video. So if you embed it, you don't have to worry about anything.
Yeah.
What was it? I thought when you went on to, I could have swore when I went on to Rumble the other day.
You don't have to create an account. You can just watch the video. You need to have an account if you want to give whatever their Rumble.
Oh, okay. That's what it is. That's what it is.
Or to make a comment on a video, you have to have that.
All right.
But
I've been corrected.
The videos. Yeah, I embed the videos over on the Facebook page, and you know, like Tim said, it just plays an ad, and then you can watch the video over there. The biggest thing I've heard from people is they don't like how the video platform is for them watching the videos.
It's clunky.
So, yeah, it's clunky. Yeah. You know, which is why, you know, on my personal channel, on my personal YouTube page, you can watch just the the video as loaded, and then over on the channel page, I have the embedded link on there, so you can watch. You know, so you can get it either way through the multiple platforms that I've been posting the videos on.
Yeah, here's the ones that'll die and go away, though. The ones that record on their phone, which there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
That when they get to enough space on their phone, they go, oh, I can't keep that anymore. They've lost everything.
Yeah, exactly. You know, Tim, you talked about like all the money that, you know, that we've put in. You talked about this. You know, we're building the new lounge, and we were, you know, YouTube was a big part of that. You know, the growth of the new lounge. I mean, that's at the end of the day is probably going to cost us $75,000. You know, to build that new lounge studio, you know, so, you know, we're a little nervous, you know, it's like, you know, we're going to have to double down, and we're really going to have to, really, you know, figure out different methods of getting our videos out there. And Dan Thompson did Patreon help any of you? I never did Patreon. Like I said, I always, luckily, you know, for what it costs to do my show and keep this up and running, I've always had really good advertisers or really good sponsors. I never felt right, you know, about taking money from people, you know, for that. Now there are other people that have a really good Patreon that they provide exclusive content over there. I don't have that much time to be doing exclusive content for one platform and then content for another platform, and just keeping all that. So there are guys that have done really well. I know 2 guys that are making thousands of dollars a month, over on
Brian
Patreon.
Glenn has his own Patreon.
Yeah.
And I'm sure he's doing well on that. But I want to ask Tim a question, and actually Kevin too, because both of you guys are usually at the forefront of new platforms and or technologies in the industry. I'm not getting political. I don't want to go down that path, not even remotely. But what's your guys' thoughts on Donald Trump's new platform that's supposed to rival Twitter and Facebook? Is that something that either of you have ever even looked into? Considered?
It's like invite only right now. Something is it? So I'm not on it. So I don't.
Yeah,
I don't know.
It's one of those things where I watched a really cool video. Actually, the CEO of Rumble was interviewed by whoever it was. You can Google it and find it, where he talks about the cloud capabilities of where Rumble is and of Trump's platform being on and what is possible to do it, and the possibilities are essentially endless, is what he was saying. But he also recognizes and knows that it's not there yet. And how long will it take it to get there? I don't know. I don't know that Trump's platform is going to be the answer, because I think that's going to be, again, without getting crazy political, I think that's going to be a platform for people to, in that political persuasion, to rally behind and say, okay, here's what we want to do. And it's going to become a page of people wanting to share their mindset politically. But I don't think it's a platform for what we do to live, because it is a micro niche on the internet, and a politically created foundation isn't the place for that to live.
I agree. I want to back up for a moment here. Dan Thompson had a comment a few minutes ago, and he said, "Think outside cigars. The best influencers showcase a lifestyle their audience wants to experience." When people ask me how I became so successful so fast, one of those things, is what Dan said. It's building a lifestyle, getting people to follow you, not just talking about cigars, not just doing cigar reviews. Mm-hmm. I remember after the first time I had Jessica do a cigar review with me, I had another cigar content creator reach out to me, and he didn't like the idea of her doing cigar reviews with me. And he said, keep them how you got them. So if you're doing cigar reviews and people are that's why they come to your platform, don't change. Stay on the narrow and keep doing that. And I never believed that. We always, we did videos of our kids, on our social medias. We try and, bring people into our lives. So people have a little bit of vested interest in us. And we saw that this past weekend when we were at the Florida Barn Smoker. Hundreds of people coming up. They wanted pictures just because, that they know us from online. And then how many people ask, hey, how's Wyatt doing? How's Graham liking the Army? And they asked all of these questions about our personal lives. And these people were vested in us as people. And they've come to know us, and we consider them family, and they consider us their family. And those are the same people as like, we'll follow you everywhere. Wherever you guys go, we'll follow you. So for the cigar reviewers, some people don't want to bring their families into it. They want to keep things separately. But for us, that's what worked for us. We built something that, people feel like they're a part of. Like when you watch a video, Jessica and I argue on the videos. We fight back and forth.
It's your life.
That's it. So when we were at the Great Smoke, the last live event they did, not this past year, so many women came up and said the only reason they came to Great Smoke with their husband was to meet Jessica. And, and so they came, they spent the extra money to buy that companion ticket to come and meet Jessica and be like, and just say, my husband does the same dumb shit. How do you put up with Kevin? How do you put up with all that crap Kevin does? And they loved it. Jessica met all these wonderful, wives, spouses, moms, and we were able to bring in another segment of the industry or community that doesn't smoke cigars. So that was, so for, especially for our sponsors, advertisers that hear things like that, and it's like, hey, that's, he's on the right track there.
So Danny, I think he's frozen again. I don't know why he's having issues. So I posed the question to, here, Danny's back. Hey, Danny, sorry about that. I don't know why you're having problems.
I don't know why the website, the browser crashed, so I reloaded it and then it crashed again.
Are you on Chrome or Safari?
I'm on Chrome.
Okay. That's, I don't, Restream is great, and we'll get into actually this content thing. Sorry about that, Danny. I hit the wrong button. So we'll get into this whole content as far as platforms and how we chose platforms, because I do think that's interesting. Because I think outside of here, Tim and I use the same platform, Restream, but you and...
I use StreamYard.
Okay. But let's see if I can do this right. But I think we all use different platforms, so we'll definitely get into that as well. But Danny, I wanted to ask you, so you and I both, again, we're smaller players in this game in comparison to the two above us. What kind of conversations are you having with manufacturers when they're, because I know you do ads and sponsors, and in those ads, I know you, like me and Kevin and Tim, judged on how much we could bring to that. So what kind of conversations are you having around that? Being that, again, we are the smaller shows into the four guys that we have on, that are you making promises, or are you restructuring those conversations to be like, hey, since YouTube is now, removing us, we're going over to new thing? Are you setting different expectations, I guess is my question.
Right now my sponsors have been super supportive of what's going on. They understand, and they're willing. They're right now they're not restructuring anything on the contracts that we have already. They're just, hey, let's see how things go. Let's look at it, if how things look at the end of the summer, and then we can revisit where things are at. And I completely understand where they're coming from on that, because the viewership level of what was there isn't there anymore. But I one of them told me that within the first week of me moving over to Rumble, they've actually seen an increase in the sales from the promo code than what they usually
That's
see.
awesome.
So that was good, for me to hear that. I'm glad, but I understand that I may have to start expanding my advertising reach over to the other platforms where I'm at. I've tried to keep it separate, but I know that in order to continue where it's at, I may have to start doing the ads over on Instagram and Facebook and the other platforms where I'm at, to try and get to continue to push what they're paying me to do.
And let's one of the platforms, Danny, that you mentioned that we haven't talked a lot about, I actually have started uploading, because you can, my entire review video onto Instagram as a video. IGTV went away back in March or something like that, but I've actually started uploading my reviews weekly onto Instagram, so that, yet again, with hashtags and SEO, there's another place where I can be found and searched. Because Instagram is a good platform for now. I'm not saying it's the solution by any means at all, but they have made it easier for us to be able to share full review videos and content. Yeah, streaming live is different, all those kinds of things, but it's taking what is already available to us and capitalizing off of the viewership and the followership that we do have. I mean, Dan commented earlier and talked about your own platform, and people that know you will follow you wherever you go. And we're seeing that. I'm seeing that. Kevin's seeing that. Traffic on my own website is increasing. And we can't just sit back and think, okay, what's the new thing? We have to wait for it and try and go into 16 different areas. Really pour into the areas that you do have available, and don't Don't abandon them or think that what you have as a reach there isn't good enough.
I agree.
Yeah, yeah, 100%.
So hold on real quick. Time out. Did Instagram break their 10-minute upload rule?
Yes.
Because I thought you could only upload. Oh, they did. I had absolutely no idea.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
So tomorrow, everybody can catch my videos on Instagram. I will be uploading them because not that I'm over 10.
Yeah, I just recently found out that you can upload more than 10 minutes. I've always tried to keep mine. At 10 minutes and under because LinkedIn still doesn't. I don't think they or did they? Maybe they just up theirs as well. I can't remember.
Well, I'm streaming on LinkedIn right now.
Yeah, I think they're maybe 15 minutes. I don't think it was a huge. I mean, it's a 50% increase, but I don't think it was enough for. I mean, let's face it. There's some reviewers out there that are doing 20, 25, 30-minute reviews, and for me personally, it is just not beneficial, and that's the way they go, and that's fine. But 8 to 12 minutes is where every single one of my videos falls. Rarely do I hit a 13-minute mark, but 8 to 12 minutes, because there isn't much more that needs to be said in that amount of time.
Yeah, and I've cut down on my video times, especially moving over. I've cut the video times down. I'm, at this point now, let 15 minutes or less on it, and I'm even trying to work to get that down even lower into that 10 to 12 minute range. Because Dan Thompson said it in the chat that long content is not great content. So
no, it's not.
Yeah, and it depends. Like on the like Lemac 912, I can watch a 40-minute Lemac video every day.
Oh yeah,
because he just goes so far outside of the scope. When I'm doing a video myself now, I'm trying to be cognizant of keeping it under that 15 minutes. If you can get 12, 13 minutes. If Jessica's with me, I have found there's no limit. People will watch a 40-minute video of me and Jessica. So, when she's with me, I don't care. We just keep talking and random stuff. But you've just got to watch your numbers, and figure out, where people
do they drop off?
I also think that different platforms. So Danny and I, everybody can catch Danny and I doing a live review next Tuesday at 6 p.m., same time the show does on Instagram Live. I do think there is a place for long-form reviews, but done more as a conversational where you have a few people smoking the same cigar, kind of like how Developing Palates does their reviews. You have a few people smoking the same cigar, you're talking about it, you're interacting with the audience, they're asking questions. But I do think that only applies to specific platforms that like that style. Instagram likes that style of live Instagram. So I think a live review, or you're doing an hour and a half live on Instagram, I think that works for Instagram. I agree with you.
I can tell you based upon the Thursday night show that I do on Instagram, where, the hangout, where we're just hanging out, smoking cigars, just doing whatever. I've seen I've looked at the numbers, whether we have a guest on or not. I know that people are tuning in, and for Wrench and I to go an hour and a half to an hour and 45 minutes, and our average view time is between 45 and 48 minutes on every video that we put out, that we do there. So people are tuning in, and we're retaining the viewership that's on there by doing that show. Mm-hmm. So people are watching.
Absolutely.
So I think that, yes, you are right on that. That if you're having a good conversation and you're involving the audience in that conversation with what you're talking about and what you're doing, I think that, there's a great medium for that. To just film a video, you're taking the audience out of that factor.
Correct.
So therefore, lowering the view time on that, your retention is going to be better, on that. And I saw that on YouTube when I started lowering the videos on YouTube, my watch times went up.
Absolutely.
You don't want to have somebody that's watching a video and they're like, okay, cool. I mean, Kevin and I talked, yesterday or the day before, where, there's multiple reviewers out there, but they're reviewing a cigar. Actually, I was talking to Cigar Titan. He came over this past weekend, and we're talking, and you're watching a video and you know the review should be wrapping up, and you look to see how much time is left, and it's like there's still 8 minutes. What in the world are they going to be talking about? And you know, what Dan said a couple minutes ago about where did it go?
Long form reviews.
No, about the podcast one. You know what? It may be a while where content creators have to, and this is where Ron Reel, you know, stood on a soapbox for a long time, rightfully so, and said, you've got to be able to hold on the attention of your people and have yourself be challenged. I remember Kevin, when I was back with Dad Smoking Cigars, he was like, I cannot, you know, I can have it playing and listen to what is being said and still understand exactly what they're communicating, even though I don't have to see it, because there's depth, there's words, there's descriptions that are going on, obviously on the cigar side of things, where,
sure,
you know, I've been able to, and not a pat on my back, but I've been able to describe what I'm experiencing in a way that if you're not watching me physically watching the screen, but you're still listening, you still get what I'm saying. You still understand what is being conveyed. And it's going to challenge people. They've got to be better communicators.
Absolutely. And in fact, I've had this discussion with several people. In the next couple of weeks, I'm going to be uploading my interviews like this, not necessarily my reviews, but to start my interviews and taken the, you know, tobacco show, why can't I think of the name of Matthew Tobacco show? Jesus.
Smoking Tobacco.
And I'm going to take their route, say with Great Lakes Smoke Show, and I'm going to start putting this stuff out on Apple Podcasts, putting my stuff on, you know, anywhere a podcast could be, because the interviews do well. But what's your take on loading a 5-minute, you know, review on a cigar on a podcast for people to listen to? Do you think that's a 10-minute review on a cigar is something people would listen to?
While driving, absolutely, because Kevin told me 3 years ago, I can drive and listen to what you're saying, and I know exactly what you're communicating. But it will only happen with content creators that are good enough at communicating to hold their attention, because you have to be able to communicate effectively. And as soon as you lose that effectiveness, you're done. They'll watch, or they'll listen to 2 minutes of it and they'll go, nah, you know, he's just waffling around back and forth. Forget it. I'm done. You'll lose them. You have to communicate effectively, and you have to do it in a concise timing for a podcast. Otherwise, they'll just jump to the next episode of somebody else's.
Yeah, exactly. Now, recently, just a couple weeks ago, on, I think it was Apple that announced that you'll be able to put videos on Apple Podcast. So,
really?
Yeah, yep. I don't know how that. I mean, we download all of our shows, you know.
I wonder if that's going to cost.
You know, I don't know. I don't know if it'll be worth it or not. But you know, I haven't looked into it. But yeah, we do all of our shows as podcasts as well. You know, separate the audio and you know, put it up on all the platforms. It does okay. You know, it's nothing spectacular, but it's another SEO. You know, it's another. You know, if someone, you know, an advertiser asks, you know, hey, you know, where are you? You know, where are people seeing my stuff? I can send them, you know, to multiple platforms. So podcasting is just another way of SEO.
And you have to be. I can hold up here and say, okay, I'm down to the nub, and here's the cigar, and you know, check out the burn. Or I can hold this up and go, okay, I've got about half an inch of the cigar left. The burn is nearly razor straight. It's smoking on its own. And get to that level of describing what's going on. Otherwise, if you hold up and go, okay, yeah, here's the burn, check it out, guys, and you move on, you've lost the imagery.
Yeah.
Well, I just want to say here, Dan is absorbing this entire discussion. Dan and McAuliffe are very, very big into the branding themselves, and I know this isn't a discussion that Dan himself has been like wanting to see, kind of how, because let's face it, the cigar world can't post ads in magazines outside of cigar tobacco related magazines, right? It used to be put on the back of everything. So the only real branding that cigar companies can get are shows like ours. And to the extent that we can promote them, we could bring them on, we could bring an audience. and potentially even a new audience. I can't tell you how many people have reached out to me specifically around K by Karen. When I brought on K by Karen, I had so many people reaching out to me going, I've never heard of them before. Now, I'm going to go buy their stuff. I had buddies tagging me everywhere saying, I bought their 5-pack sampler that you guys promoted on your site. They're fantastic. So, like, these shows are, in fact, invaluable to the cigar world. So, what
They need us. They need us.
So then going forward, when we're talking to these brands, how are you and Kevin positioning your show, especially a guy like Kevin who's got $750,000 into a brand new studio that I can't wait to go down and visit. I'm going to stay there all freaking day and smoke every one of his 6,000, 7,000 cigars that I can. And there's nothing Kevin can say about it. Yeah. But anyways, but no, in reality, like when you guys are having these discussions with people, like how are you guys approaching brands? Because I'm not making promises when I take out a sponsor. I tell them that. I said, this is a very shaky world right now in the tobacco world. So how are you guys approaching these conversations without giving anything away?
Everything is impressions. You look at your data and you look at your impressions and you say, this is the reach that I have. And certain areas will grow. Other areas won't stay as high as they are because of shadow banning and different things. And you talk about your impressions, and then you talk about where you can see, because of forecasting, where you can see your impressions heading towards. You have to have the data. You absolutely have to have the data. And that's the way that
a big platform was just ripped away from us.
Sure. So you talk about the reach that you've had with them and how they're coming over to the new platforms and they're still getting it and saying, look, I still have a level of influence and it's just shifting where it is. Yeah, it's not where it was, but you better believe with all the hard work that's been put into it, it's going to continue to grow.
Yeah.
What's your take?
I'm lucky enough. I don't, in the last year, I've only approached 2 people, companies about advertising when we've had a space opened up. Mm-hmm. 99% of all my advertisers came to me. None of them care, the reach. Nobody ever wants to see numbers. Mm-hmm. When the whole YouTube thing was going down, several of them reached out to me like, we're not worried about it. Just send the next invoice. We'll pay it. A couple of them I reached out like, hey, you kind of know what's going on. And they all came back with, we don't care. Just send the invoice when it's due, Yep. So we're lucky enough we're at that point now, but we don't have a ton of advertisers. We try and limit ourselves to about a dozen, and then we do some smaller promotions, companies reaching out, they want to, a 7-day promotion so we do those, and those are fixed numbers. Those are never any guaranteed on anything. Mm-hmm. We don't guarantee any reach at all, so it is what it is. But we've been lucky enough that where we haven't had to prove ourselves, to anybody in a long time. Like I said, we like I said, 2 companies, I think, in the last year, when we lost some advertisers because they just, didn't want to do it anymore. Well, a couple we did fire. So that's always a good point when you can get to the point where like, you know what, this isn't working out. It's.
Yeah. You've got to be okay with knowing where you are. And when you lose people, that you've got backups. I mean, I have people reach out to me and they don't care about the reach, the impressions, the subscribership. They care what they're investing in. They're investing in me and how I present them. And
correct.
As long as they are happy with how I present them, again, they don't care about the numbers. I mean, it's no secret that, I've partnered up with Founder Cigars and support them. I mean, Danny, you tried them because I started posting all the time about them.
You were posting all the time, and you were talking big about them, and so I went and bought them.
And that's what they want.
I want them on my show, by the way.
Yeah.
All I got to do is make a call. I may or may not know of somebody that's next to me on the screen that's gonna have them pretty soon. But they would be open to it. Absolutely.
Yeah. And the one thing that helps me and helps us is when you work with me, you're never working with me. You're working with us.
Yep.
So we have Jessica has an entire reach that I don't have. You know, so whenever you're, you know, that's always Jessica's the freebie. You know, when you get a bill from me, you know, we're going to do X, X, and X, and then she is always on top of that. You know, always, you know,
She's
always
the spiff.
Yeah, she's the spiff. You get Jessica at no charge.
Yep.
You know, so what? And luckily, I mean, she's been doing a few more of her own promotions lately, which has been nice, exciting, and
Now let me ask you. So, by the way, I agree. Like when I brought on everybody, I mean, Abe DeBabda. Abe will always have. I know for Kevin and I will always have a special place for us. We'll have for Abe, and
Agreed,
I had nobody. And Abe's just like, sure, yeah, we'll take a shot with you. So do you think that tobacco companies are more open to giving the chance because they understand that they're already an attacked breed, and so therefore they're not like, it's not like we can turn around and produce the sales that like a cigar lounge could do for them, but like they understand that the fact that we're talking about them, not necessarily showing the numbers, but that we're keeping their name in people's minds, and to them that's enough.
Abe understands SEO.
Yes.
Abe understands, you know, advertising. So Abe knows, you know, whatever, you know, an X amount of money, you know, that's going to go into, you know, the SEO. It's going to keep, you know, Smoke In, you know, at the top, you know. So yeah, there are some manufacturers that understand that, you know, and some don't understand it. But yeah, it's and Abe's mad I won't take any of his money.
I won't either.
Yeah, you know, so.
You know, if I Google Smoke In comes up first, and then it's a long list of Kevin's Smoke In related videos that follow underneath that. So, you know,
again,
if you're specifically looking for something, you can find it through their website, or you can find what Kevin said about it.
Yeah. Now Dan asked, do you guys know what an ad in Cigar Aficionado costs and the results? You know, yeah, I mean,
thousands. Tens of thousands.
Yeah, it can be hundreds of thousands of dollars a year. I just remember watching the interview
David
from
Marshall.
KMA, Daniel Marshall.
Absolutely.
You know, so his return on the investment was great. You know.
Yeah. Well, his was a half page for $13,000, I think.
Yeah, you know, Pete Johnson putting in a full page in Cigar Aficionado like he often does. You know, I always think, I go, what is your return? You are Tatuaje. How do you need to do this? Like, he doesn't. There's no way Cigar Aficionado returns anything on Tatuaje's investment into that magazine. You know,
but it's name.
Yeah, it's expensive to do it, but, and I'm going to touch back with what you said about Abe and Smoke In and all that. The brands that know what they're doing know that if they can get even a smaller person and their reach to talk about them, that's one more impression. And that's what they're looking for. If I can get 50 different content creators that combined have, you know, 50,000 subscribers between all of their different content, then I know that I'm getting good impressions on it. And that's what they look for. I mean, you're not going to get a full return, you know, with Dan's thing. You're not going to get a full return unless you're a Fuente or Romeo y Julieta or Padron or something like that. But that's because their heritage and their legacy, it just complements it. It's not their driving force. It just keeps them in front of other people's eyes.
But I mean, does, like, you take like a JC Dubin, I mean, what benefit? So this is what I've always thought. Like, Kevin and I both have Drew Estate as sponsorship. They sell 100 million assets a year. Like, they're going to survive without Kevin and I, especially without me. I don't know about without Kevin, but without me for sure. So, like, what is their incentive then specifically just the fact that it is like what you said, Tim? It's SEO. It's name recognition. It's people talking about them.
I don't think so. Not in the, you know, Drew Estate's a different animal.
Yes.
So in Drew Estate's, you know, case, they don't just pay me to unbox, whatever they send me or talk about their cigars. Drew Estate pays me to be a champion of Drew Estate, so everybody knows
ambassador.
People love Drew Estate. People hate Drew Estate. People will bash on Drew Estate in a group. Drew Estate can't come into that group and start that conversation, but I can, and people are like, oh, acids are garbage. I read that. Drew Estate knows if I see that, I'm not going to let that go. So I'm like, hey, when's the last time you tried one? Let's have a conversation. Is it just the Cuba Cuba? Have you tried this cigar? Have you tried this cigar? So, at that point, I'm an employee, like I said, championing their brand, and maybe I didn't convince that person to go and buy an acid, but that person that hasn't smoked one yet, if I hadn't chimed in or someone else hadn't chimed in, maybe they never would have bought one. Now like, oh, this guy says acids are sweet, they're infused, they're flavored. Real cigar smokers don't smoke those. I'm not going to smoke one either. But then I, tattoo, beard, gruff looking guy. And then maybe they look at me and goes, that dude smokes acids. Get at it. I would like to try one. Maybe I'll try one and make up my own mind. So yeah. So Drew Estate's a little different animal.
They are.
To Kevin's point, I'm not a flavored cigar smoker, but the Sunday Tibet tips that Kevin does, I said, I'm going to give him a shot. Kevin's drinking them over there with Monster Shrek's piss drinks. and I'm over here like, I'll try it with a cup of coffee. And honestly, the Negro is fantastic with a cup of coffee. But Danny, what's your thoughts on kind of like, what are cigar companies just going to have to settle for shows like ours, giving them hits, giving them name recognition? Because I think as the industry gets more suffocated platform wise, that's primarily what they're going to be wanting to get. What's your thoughts?
I think, well, for the bigger companies, they don't pay attention to me per se, but the smaller, newer companies, they're looking to get their name out there, and they tend to come to me to here, smoke the cigar, put out a review, post a post, talk about the stick. And I'm happy to do that because that's where mostly my channel is geared towards the newer brands, the boutique brands. So I tend to have a soft spot in my heart for them, and I do whatever I can for those companies to try and get them some exposure.
That's how I started. It was all super small boutique. Boutique.
That's how we all. I think that's how we all started. It's the super small boutiques, and then, but I kind of weaned myself off because some of these boutique companies, and it is what it is. They expect a lot for a 5-pack of free cigars. They'll like, hey, I'd like to send you a 5-pack and do this, and this. I'm like, well, can I send you over, what we, what we charge, and be like, well, I'm just going to send you cigars. 5? I mean, no offense, there's, a lot of hours, when you got, a couple you can have 10 hours, 5 cigars. I can buy my own cigars, it's, and
I don't promise them anything. I just promise them, like, I will promote your product for you. I will shoot a couple reviews on your sticks. I will do posts with your sticks, but don't expect anything. Don't expect that your website's going to be flooded with.
You're going to crash
after I do something. Yeah,
sure.
I will talk it up, and if it's a good stick, I will tell everybody it's a good stick. If I don't like it, I will do my best to try and still get you some sales. But
but with
what, so they know if I don't like it.
Look at what Dan says right there. Dan's right.
100%.
You've got to value yourself. As much as I want to help the boutique cigar maker, that boutique cigar maker also has to understand that he has a business. That he cannot advertise anywhere else. So we are providing, content. We are providing, a potential reach for him.
Mhm.
Some of these boutique cigar makers, and there's a few that have, that I know that have gone out of business because, they'll try and get, everybody to review and do these 5-packs. And, people are like, no, we're not doing these for free anymore. And they don't want to pay anybody. And they keep going to these smaller and smaller guys, that have 100, followers. And it's like, that's not how you do it. I mean, it's nice to send them some free cigars. They need content, but you're not growing because you're not paying any advertising.
No,
true.
And I've had boutiques that have reached out to me.
I've had boutiques. Advertising is what it is.
It is.
Us.
But it doesn't have to be. And that's the thing. It doesn't have to be free advertising. And Kevin, you've been one of the greatest, examples of how to monetize and think outside the box. I've had boutiques reach out to me and they're like, hey, I've got a 5-pack sampler. Can you do a review? Sure, I can do a review. Oh, yes, we're sending you a 5-pack sampler. Can you review all of them? You want to take up over a month of reviews for my content where it's taking me 5-6 hours per video, and you want me to dedicate 60 hours for what costs you $8? No.
I whenever so I've actually, because Danny's my go-to boutique guy. So like when I have a new company that comes to me and says, hey, and I've brought over a few people to Danny, introduced him. Danny's done reviews as well, Classic Sticks and Trinello Cigars being two of those. I tell people, I can't find your cigars. I'll do a review, but you got to send me a sampler of something. And I'm only going to guarantee that I'm only going to review one. Now, if I get a bug up my ass and I'm like, I really want to try that other cigar, and, I think I'm going to do a review because I've got nothing else in the humidor lined up, then I'll do it. But I also, so since we're on the topic, so when somebody sends you guys a 5-pack, and I'm referring specifically to Coop here, right? Cigar Show Coop, because he's got like a year wait list for a freaking review for a lot of cigars, right? So when you guys are doing cigar reviews and someone sends you a 5-pack, do you tell them I'll jump on? I never tell them. I'm going to let them rest. I've got a lineup of cigars in my humidor that I'm reviewing. I'll add you to that. Promised. So then what is your response when they come back to you after a month or two and go, hey, why haven't you done this review yet? I blunt with them in the beginning and say, I set the time for the review.
Oh, yeah, you have to. You can't let somebody that's that small that's not paying you manage your time and your value. And you have to get to the point, not even to the point, you have to get to the mindset, you have to live in the mindset that you're doing them a favor, because you can have 10 different boutiques reach out and go, okay, hey, I'll send you this, I'll send you that. I mean, I have stuff that I got at TPE in January that I haven't even gotten to yet.
Correct.
And it's just how it is. And if you aren't able to stand up and say, look, I've got a bunch of stuff to review, so send me what you've got. Maybe if it's something that's brand new and releasing, it's like, hey, I want to jump on this one. Otherwise, it may be 2 or 3 months. And if they're not okay with that, I'm okay with that, because that's just how I'm going to model it and how I'm going to do what I do. But, Dan has said it. Dan, I mean, I've talked with Dan before. He gets it. He understands it. And he gets it from our perspective also, being on the manufacturer brand owner side of things. He understands what it takes to have us put out the content, and that our time needs to be valued. And maybe it's, hey, we'll send you a whole box of this and just enjoy it on us. We're not in a place where we can pay you, but we'll at least give you a whole box as opposed to, a 5-pack sampler. But you have to value your time. And speaking of that, I actually have to jump off, Ryan. I know you and I talked about this before. I've got
absolutely
something else that I've got to get to, but I want to thank you for having me on and for being a part of this. Kevin, obviously you and I talk super frequently. We're good, brothers, but Danny, when you see this and you jump back on, it's been cool being a part of all of this. I'd love to do it again. I've just got someplace that I got to get to. So for everybody that's watching,
thank you, Tim.
I appreciate you guys. You can find me anywhere at Cigar Show Tim, or you can check out my website, tobaccotalkmedia.com. And I'd love to, connect with you guys.
Absolutely. Tim's one of those guys that I have reached out to for advice. Kevin is one of those guys that in the beginning I was like, he's not going to want to talk to me. And then Kevin's like, I'll talk to you all day long. He just texts me, and I got his phone number. I text him.
Yep.
And, so I truly appreciate the advice that you've given people like Danny and I, both of you. And thank you, Tim, for jumping on. It truly means a lot. And
Absolutely.
Of course, always welcome on the show. And if you ever want to give me a finder's fee for that battery, I'm up for it.
Yeah.
There you go.
All right, Tim. We'll talk to you later, Tim.
Yep.
Thanks,
All right.
Tim.
Yeah,
Thanks, Tim. Bye-bye.
See ya.
So,
and I said, and to piggyback off what he said a little bit, so I probably turned down a half a dozen, a week of boutique cigar makers wanting to send us stuff. And it's either we're not being paid for it. And that's not always the situation. Classic Sticks. Those guys reached out to us too. They sent me and Jessica each a 3-pack of cigars. We didn't promise them anything. And that's what, we can't even promise there be any video. Most likely there will never be a video because we really don't do that anymore. But we do try and, at least smoke one and take a picture of it. But, we try and smoke a lot of cigars from manufacturers. At least I do. Jessica's a boutique girl, like Danny. She loves the boutiques. My time is very, very valuable. I need to realize a return on my investment for time. Because just smoking a cigar and even taking a picture, posting it on Instagram, posting it on Facebook, that can be a 2-hour, process of doing all that. And I don't like doing that for free. Not for money. McAuliffe Cigars. Drew Estate, not so much. Terrence Riley with Aganorsa. Corona Cigar. When you post a picture, especially if you do a story, it's reshared right away. I mean, okay, so I'm like, all right, so their reach is a whole lot bigger than me. I smoked one of their cigars. That's a return on my investment that I can quantify. So I try and smoke a lot of cigars from manufacturers that value what I do and value, me taking the time and smoking their cigar. So it's not always about money, but it's always, you got to realize some kind of,
you got to get a return. Yeah,
you got to get a return. I've had companies reach out to me. One, and I won't mention his name, be like, hey man, I haven't seen you smoke one of our cigars in a while. And I go, it's because I don't have any, and I have 4,000 in my humidor. I'm not going out and buying more cigars. So he sent me 4 boxes of cigars, and then when I got him, he checked the tracking. He goes, hey man, I noticed those cigars got delivered. And I go, and I will smoke them. He's a friend of mine, and he's like, hey, whenever you're running low, just reach out. So we have a couple manufacturers that we love their stuff. And it's just one of those things. Hey, when you're running low, let us know and we'll get you some more.
Absolutely. And Kev, you bring up a good point about just not doing something for the sake of doing it. And let's be honest, Kevin, you don't do your show has transformed a lot over the years, and you're no longer necessarily doing the cigar reviews. So, or at least on the scale that you were doing them years back. So for you to do a review, there has to be a bigger incentive for it than, say, Danny. Right? Danny does the most reviews out of any show I think I know out there. He's a review almost every day, right, Danny? Okay, Danny's, Danny's a little locked up.
Dan has made a comment that Jessica and I get actually quite frequently. If I send you a couple of cigars, you promise not to post, just enjoy. We've got a couple manufacturers that send us cigars and with a note saying, like they'll threaten us. If I see you post a cigar online, I'll kill you. They're from friends of ours. It's like, these are for you, to sit back in your chair and just enjoy the cigar, because they know what it takes to produce a photo, and across multiple platforms. So we love hearing that. And those are the companies that we champion, the people that do value our time and just send us some cool stuff just to smoke.
Absolutely. And so Danny, you do about a review a day, right? Or 5 reviews a week. Like you do a shit ton of reviews. So it's a little different. Kevin requires probably a little bit more to do a review. I do 1 review a week. So when somebody sends you a 5-pack, that falls more in your line of I'll do a review because it's there and I do so many. So what is your conversation around a company reaching out to you, a boutique company going, hey, I'll give you a 5-pack for a review?
Danny, we can't hear you.
Change your, in the gear below, change your, this is great. See, the internet's already shutting us down, guys. They're shutting Danny down. They don't like Danny for some reason.
I remember back in the day, though, that I was uploading 5 videos a week on YouTube.
I know.
You know, it was just, but it was when we're smaller. You've got to get it out there. You've got to get those reviews out there, and at any cost. And then you've got to realize at a certain point that your time is worth a little bit of money. And I got burned out. I just don't enjoy reviewing cigars. Now we probably review, at least I do, at least 2 cigars a week for manufacturers that just want my opinion on their cigar. Either it's a cigar that's already in production, or, you know, I've probably got over a dozen pre-production cigars, you know, that I have like a little sheet, you know, and I send them some info. We just did that on a cigar that is getting ready to hit the market, and they actually stopped production on it to work out, just to make sure that what I experienced, you know, wasn't the norm, you know. So yeah, we like doing those are fun because they don't take any editing time and filming time, so we enjoy doing those. But cigar reviews are just a nightmare, man. I like doing shows. They're easier. You know, it's 2 hours. You can either do a whole bunch of 10-minute videos, or you can do 1 2-hour show, you know. And
no, totally. And again, Danny, can you hear you? Yes.
Can you hear me?
I
reloaded it. I don't know what's going on. It must be the snow. It's the snow that's coming in.
We're supposed to get 15 inches. But Danny, I throw that question back to you. So when a cigar manufacturer throws you a 5-pack, because you do so many reviews, are you like gung-ho about that, or are you you only guarantee like 1 cigar?
No, I cut down on the amount of reviews. As I put in that video I put out there a couple weeks ago, I just wasn't having fun anymore because it became work. Yeah. Because I was getting so much stuff in from manufacturers, because I wasn't smoking stuff I wanted to smoke. I did away. But prior to that, I only guaranteed manufacturers, if they sent me a 5-pack sampler, 1 review. And I go, I will try and get to it within a certain time frame, but there's no guarantees. I go, if I do more reviews on it, then that's a bonus for you. But I will, I'll give you 1 review, and then, I'll smoke the rest. I'll take pictures with the rest, but, I'll only guarantee you at least 1 review. That's it. My time's valuable because I don't think people understand how much time goes into creating the videos and filming everything, the editing, all that. It takes time to do all that. Then the promotion of the video when it comes out, that it's hours upon hours of work. And I value my time. We talked about our time. My time's valuable. So
yeah,
correct. And you know what? Like when I was a dude in my backyard and I had 5 subscribers, which was my family. Thanks, Mom and Dad. And I had like nobody watching my stuff. I didn't realize the effort put into editing. Like, fortunately now I have it set up to where I have like a master slide. I edit the video, I move the video into a master slide, and everything's built. But I mean, even doing that only shaved off about a half hour of time. having a master slide video to be able to do that.
You've watched my videos. You've seen my edit. I am not tech savvy whatsoever, but I have fun with the editing that I do. I make fun of myself when I screw up. I'm one take. I don't stop, splice a new video. If I screw up, you see my screw up. I call myself out on the screw up in the videos. I like to have fun with the videos. I want the people who are watching to have fun with the videos as well. And I try to also post up information on the video that, since, I'm trying to cut the time down and there's so much stuff to get out, that, all right, here you go. Here's more information, because I'm just going to blow through a lot of it to get the information out, but I'll be more detailed in pop-ups that come up on the screen.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, that's why I just got out of doing the cigar reviews, because they just take up so much time. An unboxing that's we do the Smoke In Cigar of the Month Club, the Corona Cigar of the Month Club. Those take up a lot more time. Right before this video, Jessica and I filmed a video, a 15-minute video on a new cigar. And,
which we are about to talk about.
So we filmed that, I edited it, and I posted it within an hour. Everything, 60 minutes. But my lighting is set up. My cameras are always set up. All I have to do is, turn them on, put on my wireless mic, and we're done.
But let's also be honest, Kevin. Your fingers are mental it's mental action at this point for you editing. You've been doing it for so long.
Yeah.
You have your systems in place. In the beginning, when you were learning out, you probably were 4x what you are now per video, until you got your platforms laid out.
Yeah, and until I got everything also set up. A lot of times when I was filming out in the garage, it would take an hour to set up, just to get ready to film. Now, like I said, with the lighting all set, the cameras all set, everything done. If I decided after the show to do a cigar review, I would be ready in under 5 minutes. It would just be flipping them on, grabbing the cigar, pulling up a little info, and that's it.
Yeah. So for me, I've got 20 minutes of camera adjustmts and setups. Yeah. Danny's probably got 10, 15, 20 minutes of camera setup.
Nope.
I was just trying to give you more credit, Danny. Come on.
5 minutes, 5 minutes, man. 5 minutes is all. I've got the studio all set up like Kevin does. He just flips a search.
Yeah.
I got a little bit more. I got to do a little bit more steps on it, but it's set up for me to film a review or go on IG Live, or and I got the computer right here. So if I'm gonna hop on a live with any of you guys, boom, I'm all set up to go.
That's it. It's just being efficient, having everything
absolutely
just ready, and then at the drop of a hat, it's just going.
When you invited me on that one show, man, as soon as I told you, man, I'm driving home right now. But as soon as I got home, all I had to do was turn the computer on, and boom, I was ready to go.
See, for somebody like myself, like if I were to turn my camera, I've got 5 screens I work on for work. So this is actually my office that I work in too. So it always makes Zoom meetings like very interesting for work when they're seeing Drew Estate smoking, and now they get to see the big Namakubi side. They're gonna be like, "What the heck is going on over at your place? And why do you look like a NASCAR background?" But I don't have my cameras and everything set up all the time because I rent my current house, which has this amazing outdoor shed that's about 100 square feet that I utilize half of it for what I do. And be honest with everybody, because I live in Colorado, I actually have a pot growing ventilation system above me because it works for this room, unlike the ventilation system that Kevin has to probably put in for his new lounge. That's a real ventilation system. So like for me, it takes a little bit more to get set up because I do have to set my cameras up. I do have to take that time to dial everything. And Kevin, back to you, when you were in your garage and you had just the garage background, I know you had pre-set up as well. And I don't think most people take that into account. I get into the studio 30 minutes before each show. and it pretty much comes down to the deadline for me getting everything set and angled out and stuff like that. But I do want to move on, because I do want to take a few minutes here to at least bring in the new cigar from Fratello that I hope I pronounced that right. I'm terrible at pronouncing names. About Kevin's cigar that is reversible. So, Kevin, I'm going to give you the floor here, and please let us know about this new cigar.
Do you have the picture? Do you have the picture from earlier to pull up?
I do not have the picture. I didn't see you sent me. You sent me a video on it, but you didn't send me to the picture.
No, I sent you the picture. Didn't I send you the? Let's see. I thought I sent you the text message.
Let me see.
Yeah, I sent you the text.
Oh, Jesus. Okay, so hang on here 1 second.
Yeah. So yes. So that's our new cigar that we've been working on for 2 years now with Omar de Frias of Fratello Cigars. It's actually unfortunately I think someone kind of beat us to the punch of at a PCR or TPE this year of debuting a cigar that you can smoke from either end. But I think we did it. I don't want to say more legitly. I think we did it the hard way. You know, we spent the last 2 years figuring out how to, roll a cigar that's triple capped and round on both ends. Then that will give you two distinct smoking experiences as you're smoking it. One end's a little bit more front loaded, ligero. It's a little spicier, a little bolder. The other end is a lot lighter, a lot smoother. So you decide what do you want to start with? Do you want to cut and light the end that's spicier? Or do you want to start off with a spicy, bold, in-your-face cigar? Or is that how you want to finish the cigar?
So let me ask you a question, Kevin. I watched a video from Cigar Obsession years ago, and he talked about the Cuban way of lighting cigars was to cut what we would put as the tip and actually light it backwards. So how come you can't take any cigar and light it backwards? What is that?
You can. A couple of years ago, I think it was 3 years ago, I did a video, can you smoke a cigar backwards? Because, and where that originated from was, which I used to be a huge fan of the Camacho Criollo. Smoked box after box. And I don't know if I got a bad box, but I had several in a row that were just not tasting good. And I'm like, you know what? Maybe it was built backwards or something. So I cut the one end and I smoked it backwards. And it was a fantastic cigar. I absolutely loved it. So, and then that summer, it just blew up. We had manufacturers smoking cigars backwards. We had, content creators doing videos, smoking cigars backwards. And it was almost a year after that video was made. Someone tagged me in a photo. They were smoking a cigar backwards. They were still doing it, and I'm in my car and I go, you know what? Why can't you? Because if you do it that way and you smoke, you cut the head and light it, it's going to unravel as you smoke it, because it was never made to be smoked backwards, so
that's the difference.
So it's kind of a pain in the butt. You can, if you V cut it first, there's ways around it but it's always going to pretty much unravel it. And that was never the way the cigar was meant to be smoked. That's not how the manufacturer made the cigar.
So what you're saying is that your blend is different based on the end you cut and smoke it from. So then in your packaging, does it say spicy, non-spicy?
Yes, the band will tell you which end is spicy, which end isn't spicy. So I'm driving in my car. I see that I was tagged in a post. So I think to myself, it's not rocket science to make a cigar that's capped on both ends. And I'm like, well, I only know of one kind of rocket scientist, and that's Omar de Frias. Even though he was an analyst, he wasn't a rocket scientist at NASA, but he worked at NASA as an analyst. So I reached out to him, and he loved the idea. And I think we both thought it was going to be easier than it really was, but we knew it was going to be hard as well. I think it took the factory a month to really figure out a process to where you could make the cigar, and then it really took 2 years to refine that cigar and make it, you know, a real cigar. Just making the other end round, you know, isn't that easy. And then we also wanted to make a cigar that was specifically made to be smoked backwards, you know, really front heavy or back heavy. And then the one thing that doing my testing that I found out, you know, Jessica likes super heavy, bold, spicy cigars. Me, not so much. I do like some bold, spicy cigars. So when we were testing all the different blends, I was just cutting it in half, you know, straight cutting guillotine right in the middle. I give her a nub, you know, she gets her spicy, bold cigar. I get my, you know, a little bit milder, smoother cigar. We each get one cigar, and then that's it. And then a couple times I said, just, you know, wake up in the morning, you know, I cut one in half, smoked a smooth, you know, essentially a Connecticut in the morning, and then I smoked the other half in the afternoon. Had a little bit bolder of a spicier cigar.
So let me ask you then, take the Pappy Van Winkle. It's not a barber pole. It's a split wrapper. That's like if they were to close off one end or both ends, is that something that a Pappy could do? Is give you that differentiation? And then Danny, the question I have for you is, do you think, like, have you ever tried smoking a cigar backwards? I've never tried smoking.
So well, I want to answer Cody's question up here. Is that where the term safari style came from? Actually, it's prop style. So safari style came about a year after we did the video. So we were actually, people were calling it smoking prop style for an entire year, you know, and then, you know, safari style came out. Obviously the Drew Estate group, 40,000 some odd members, you know, so it kind of took off a little faster. So technically safari style is smoking a papas fritas backwards. It's smoking one individual cigar backwards. So prop style is really how it originated, but this cigar isn't smoking prop style because you're not smoking a cigar backwards. You're just choosing how you want to smoke a cigar.
Well, the only cigar I smoked backwards was the Pappy Van Winkle Tradition. That was a stick.
So we had the same idea.
So that was a stick I wasn't too high on, and it was recommended to me to smoke it backwards because it is a better smoke backwards than it is regular. And I have to admit, it was a different, unique stick, and I did find it a bit more enjoyable to smoke than the regular Tradition Pappy Van Winkle. So that's the only stick, and I've only done it once. But now knowing that Kevin's got another stick, at this point I need to just direct deposit my paycheck over to Kevin.
It'll be interesting. You know, it was an idea that we both thought that, like I said, would be a little bit easier to implement than it really was. You know, but yeah, so it was tough.
I just want to throw this out here. Ish over at Badass Motherfucker Cigars and ROCF Cigars, he actually just sent over this image that he had something out like this in 2016 or 2015. So have you tried this, Kevin?
I haven't, you know, and I know that's, you know, like the Perfecto tip, you know, that's definitely a whole lot easier to be able to smoke the cigar backwards doing it that way, you know, but that's not, you know, we really wanted to go with a more, you know, I don't know, traditional is probably not the right term, but we really wanted a round cigar on both ends because it's never been done. You know, it's you know, a perfectly round triple cap cigar on both ends is a nightmare to make. And we really wanted to see, you know, if that could be done. And like I said, it took 2 years. You know, it was a lot of trial, a lot of error, you know, you know, and it was just getting those blends perfect, and then it's getting it, you know, because once the wrapper's on, you don't know which end is which. So it's that chain of custody until that band is put on that you know which end is which, on that cigar. And the rollers don't like rolling them because they can roll. I think Omar said they can roll 3 traditional cigars for every one of ours that to roll. So it's just a lot more time consuming.
So Kevin, I just want to say I might know a few cigar reviewers that would be very interested in trying the. I don't know their names off the top of my head, but I might be able to think of a few. So when can we see this cigar hit the market? Is it this quarter, next quarter, end of the year? What are you looking at?
This year. The packaging is done. Well, the packaging design is done. The band design is done. But with everything else, it was, once we kind of had the process down, the whole world came crumbling down with these supply chain issues. So now that's what we're kind of running into. So, it's why, I posted the video earlier. We kind of wanted to get the word out, build a little bit of buzz on it, and then hopefully soon, they'll be out, but I can't guarantee anything. It's just exciting. It's just like anything else when you've been working on a project for a couple of years, it's just, you just want it to be done.
No, totally, absolutely, and I want to make sure that I give Danny the opportunity because Kevin, I don't know if you're aware of this, but our friend Danny actually has some sticks coming out as well that he's working on, very, very top secret. Have to almost go through a CIA screening just to get access to them. So Danny, I want to also give you the opportunity. I don't have a cigar coming out. Nobody loves me enough to put a cigar out with my name on it. Maybe someday Trash Panda will. Maybe someday 505 Cigar Review will. I have no idea. But I definitely want to give Danny the opportunity to talk about what he has going on too.
Well, right now we're in the infancy stage. We're not, we're about ready to start the test blends out. They've been sitting in the humidor since that night I talked to you, where I showed them off. They've been in there. They're getting ready to get sent out to the rest of the members of our group. So we're going to get together to test the blends out to see how they operate and work. And then we're hopefully one of these test blends works out. But again, I'm not willing to put my name on or back something that I don't think is a good stick. So as excited as a few members of the group are that everything that we got is going to be banging, being involved in test blends with companies, I know I've smoked a lot of trash, and I know that it's a slow process, and I'm willing to wait for the stick that hits right, that I'm willing to back and put my name behind.
Yeah, I'll trade you because we've got 3 more blends coming out with another company, and on this one, I was the opposite of you, Danny. I'm tired of test blends. I'm tired of testing cigars. It just gets so.
It takes a lot of time.
It does take a lot of time. So with this new company, and he's a friend of mine. We smoke together, so he knows what I like. And I told him, I want 3 blends and I just want them done. And he started talking like, well, we can get you some tests. I go, nope, not happening. I go, you know what I like. You know what I don't like. Everybody respects your palate. I want 3 cigars done. 100% done. Don't send me a test blend. Don't talk to me about the blend. I have them in there now. I don't know what's in them. They're absolutely fantastic cigars. I love them all, but I was over the test blend procedure. It's now obviously working with a factory that maybe I didn't know. Someone reached out to me, hey, we want to do a collab with you. Obviously, you get into that test blend and make sure everything is right. But no, on these, I just want people ask me, what was the blend like, or the process. Like, I just ordered them. Three completely different, nothing in his portfolio, but I just wanted them done. Like, I don't want to do this. And it was funny. He goes, I don't think I'm comfortable with that, and because he's like, what if you don't like them? Like, it doesn't matter if I don't like them. Other people may like them, so I got a bunch of bundles in and I sent them out. Everybody loves them, but yeah, I didn't. I wanted something new.
So I'll just say this to both of you. I will guarantee you one review for a 5-pack of Cigar. Hopefully.
I will definitely I will definitely send you some to, if you want to review them, you can. If not, I don't care.
Kevin,
as long as I get your honest feedback. But
Kevin, you sent me 5 cigars. Danny, you sent me cigars because they're close friends. I will make sure I review as many of those as I can. Absolutely, and I'm looking forward because I've actually talked with Danny about this. I'm looking very forward to trying his cigars.
Yeah,
and of course, Kevin, I've been a big follower of yours. I don't think I've made that shy, and I've bought, I think, every one of your releases at this point, between Sticks and Stones, which I know wasn't yours. That was your brand, your branding affiliated, but Sticks and Stones, Back in Black was phenomenal. And to be honest with you, the Silent Green, very interesting, incredibly interesting. And I bought a buddy pack, and my neighbor Jeff, we split that pack, and we're actually working our way through it. It's hard to find time to go and smoke a cigar with a buddy all the time, especially when you have an 11-month-old at home. But I've been very I've enjoyed what you have dropped so far, and I do definitely think that your most interesting drop, and I can't speak for the Fratello, but your most interesting drop was that Sticks and Stones, because that was an industry first cigar, the concept of it. And everybody I've given that to has been blown away when I tell them it's cornflaked stems.
It was an industry first of that cigar never had been done before, but it was also I don't know if it was an industry first, but it may have been to where
I've never heard of it.
To where somebody got a whole bunch of people to smoke a cigar and not tell them anything about it and tell them not to smoke it. So that was the rule, that you bought the 5-pack and you couldn't open it up. You couldn't smoke it for a month, or whenever you bought it, because 30 days later we were going to all smoke the cigar live on air together. Yep. And that was really, like Dave Garofalo, 2 Guys, also testing me a little bit, because I know, we've talked about working together, on projects, so it was like a little bit of a test, like, but let's see what you can do. Let's see if you can if you really can sell some cigars. And we sold 255 packs in 30 days, of that cigar. So
correct.
So that was
correct.
That was a testament to the people trusting me.
Correct. But I also think a huge testament to that too is the cost of it, right? I mean, they were $15, and you made a good point when you were showing these. You're like, hey, listen, if you don't like them, they're $3 a stick. Keep them in your humidor. Give them to somebody that doesn't smoke. You weren't asking for a big commitment. And Danny, in your opinion, you work with a lot of boutique brands. I think, and we'll wrap up the show here in a minute after this question, but I think that's where a lot, this is a question to both of you, Danny first, but I think that's where a lot of boutique companies go wrong, is they make their boxes too big, a 30-count box. You're asking somebody to take a $400 commitment, or they price their cigars too high. And when I'm going for a boutique blend, I'm more apt to spend $15 on a company I've had before, even if it's a new line, than I am on $15 for a cigar who hasn't. So I would love for you guys to give your opinions to boutique brand pricing, and we'll wrap the show up after that.
Yeah, I agree. I think the pricing, a lot of them, the price points are too high. I do mention that in the video when I'm like, I had one company and they sent me a stick. One of their sticks was $30.
Yeah.
And I go, look, this was a good stick. It's not $30 good. If this stick was $12, yeah, I'd buy it. It would be a regular buy for me. It was a really good stick. I think a lot of new companies try to make their money back off their first drop. And that was the one thing I told our group is that we're not going to make our money back off the first drop. I go, based upon how things look and where's that, probably drop 4 or 5, we may break even, but don't count on it. I don't want to overprice the cigars, but I also know that, hey, we got to make a little bit of money so we can continue to put the drops in. So I got an idea of where I want the price point to be on the sticks, and it's not going to be anywhere close to where a lot of these boutique brands are at, which is 15 plus. I think that's too high, and you're asking people to take a chance on a stick that's unproven. And just because I say it's good, you may say it's bad. So,
Correct.
I understand their price point. When you go to a factory and you're spending, you pick up your cigars and that factory wants a check for $15,000, $20,000, on cigars. You've got to make some of your money back, but then you've got to realize halfway through that run, if it's doing well, you've got to call the factory and order another $15,000 worth of cigars. So if you haven't made your money back yet, now you're out even more money to get that next run in or to get that next turn. And it's never-ending cycle. So I understand.
It's a catch-up.
Yeah, so I understand them, needing to price their cigars a little higher. But I look at that too. It's like, McAuliffe drops a new cigar. It's $18. I'm going to go out and buy it. That's a known brand. I know it.
They're tested.
I know it's a pretty good chance I'm going to buy it. I got a boutique cigar. I'm in a lounge. And it's like, wow, $15. I mean, I can have a McAuliffe for $15, and have a cigar I know 100% is going to be good versus spending $15, finding out halfway through it's like cigar's not that great, and then now I got to go back in and spend another $15 to buy another cigar. So there is that sweet spot. I don't have the solution. I don't know, from these companies, I'm always price conscious, trying to keep new cigars. If you can keep them at or under $10, that's about the golden price. About $8. Anybody, I don't want to say anybody, most people will spend $8 on a cigar.
They're willing to risk that.
You're willing to risk it, but to almost double that at $15, $16.
Yeah, I think that's too much. And
Correct.
And I get where they're coming from because I told the guys, I go, look, we're going to have to over order sticks because we have to do promotion on this and we're going to have to eat the cost on that. And that's part of doing the business. And I'm willing to shell out the extra money and eat the costs to get the brand out there, to get the name out there, and to get it to people who I know are going to put my name out or put the name of the brand out there, and you've got to build that in. And I don't think a lot of these brands do that, but then they need the help getting it out there. But
they do. And then Lou says right there, sampler packs.
Absolutely.
So many boutique brands don't do sampler packs.
They don't
do a 3-pack for, it's always, a lot of times it's always 5 packs of each. And it's like, man, I don't want to spend, even if the cigars are $8 a piece, I don't want to buy 5 of them. And find out I don't like it, at least, allow me to buy 3, or a 5-pack, one of each of everything you have. Or if you only have 3, let me buy 3 or let me buy 2.
Oh yeah. So I actually had like a come to Jesus moment with and I won't mention names, with a company, a small company. And they went from a 5-pack to a 30 count box. And I was like, and I had actually, Danny and I had this actual discussion about the same company. And I remember telling the brand, I was like, listen, for a boutique, for the fact that you have a 20 count, a 30 count box, I said, look at the legacy brands. Padron, I don't think has a 30 count box. Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't think outside of like a Papas Fritas or the smaller stuff that really Drew Estate has a only 30 count box. They have like a 20 and a 50, you know,
Yeah.
but like I told him, he goes, I'm just not moving them. And I said, it's because you give people two options, or I should say three, a 5-pack of your entire line, a single cigar, or a 30 count box for $400, $500. And I said, that's a lot to ask. I always think that boutiques should stick in the 10 count boxes for an even $100. I'm willing to take a risk on a 10 count box at $10 a cigar, knowing that I have enough buddies that come over that I could give cigars to that don't smoke a lot of. But I think a 30 count box is a little excessive. What do you guys think?
Oh yeah,
It's insane. I would never make a 30 count. Get out of here. Everybody wants 10 count boxes.
Yes. Space.
Well, that and bundles. I'm a bundle guy. You know, there is I love bundle cigars, and we were just talking about this last night with Robert Caldwell and Tony Bellata. I love bundles because it allows me to cut the sticker out and then use the sticker, boxes. I at least 3 times a year I throw out 30 or 40 boxes, and I have them stacked up because I'm like, oh, it's such a beautiful box. I hate to get rid of it. And then they start stacking up, and it's like, I'll just throw them away. That's why we love bundles. We're able to cut the stickers out. We do them for our little projects. It's awesome. There's minimal waste. And then I don't feel like I'm paying for the box. I've said this to Steve Saka with this last Muestra series. Each cigar came in a coffin, and then there was like 7 coffins to a bigger box. And I'm like, what? What is it? What is going on here, Steve? Each cigar is $18 for each cigar. I go, I know $2 of that each cigar is the damn box. And he's like, well, don't buy them. And I'm like, well, I have to buy them.
Absolutely. And correct me if I'm wrong, guys, but I've had this discussion as well, actually, with several companies. The most expensive spot in a humidor is not the humidor in the lounge. It's the humidor at home.
Yeah.
And in order for you to get into the humidor at home, you have to make the boxes count-wise or size-wise fit in the humidor at home. Because that is, I think, I don't think manufacturers think about the home, quote-unquote, shelf space. I have a New Air 1500 count humidor, that same thing that Kevin has, and same thing that a lot of other people have. I have limited space. This is more of a box-driven humidor than a single cigar humidor. And when I'm looking at a box and going, it's 20 count, that's taking up a bigger space in my humidor. I have to like that cigar more. Am I wrong in thinking that?
No, you're definitely not wrong. But the problem is going from a 10 count box to a 20 count box, you're not doubling your price of the box. I mean, if a box cost you, say, $5 for a 10 count box, it may only be $5.50 for a 20 count box.
Correct. Correct.
So why not just put everything in a 20 count box?
Correct.
But if you want to move cigars, but then you also jump up from $150 a box to $300 a box. So
absolutely.
The manufacturers, everybody wants a nice presentation. Bundles, are hard to put on a shelf. I think it might be easier if someone came out with, some kind of displays that would display, bundles a lot easier, because you just don't want to stack them on a shelf in a humidor at a lounge.
Have a good night, Ash. Thanks.
So if it's if they're displayed a little bit nicer, that might be might
and
be
I
easier,
only see bundles at the shop, either up on the very top shelf or down on the bottom on the floor.
Yeah.
Totally.
You specifically have to know what you want in a bundle. They're not eye level or within that purchase range level of what you're looking for.
Exactly. Now I wish they would. I've never seen, it'd be nice to have a half bundle because people like seeing the cigar. So I wonder if they
Tensky.
could, if they could wrap a 20 count bundle, because some people do the bundles in plastic. You know, it'd almost be nice to have the bundles in plastic and then do a half butcher paper. You know, because butcher paper is obviously more durable. I think that'd be cool too. But,
like the Espinosa Diet Sarsaparilla that was released for the Great Smoke, and even the new Nicaragua that was released. Those are all in a thicker butcher paper style, and you could fit them much more in your humidor. Personally, so well, I tell you what, thank you guys so much for coming on. This has been an absolutely fantastic show. I you know, just everybody's comments and interactions. Thank you so much for partaking. It was great to see several brands actually partake in this. We had BAMF, we had McAuliffe participate in this, and I know because I know Dan is absorbing literally everything that we're saying, and same with Ish moving forward. So I think shows like this where we talk with quote unquote, for lack of better terminology, influencers in the cigar world give manufacturers the ability to kind of understand where the influencer quote unquote world is. And it's just really, really good for manufacturers to see shows like this. So big thanks to both Kevin of Cigar Prop and Danny Ravanelli of 505 Cigar Review. So this is the point in time in the show where I give each guest the last word before I say a thank you to my sponsors and end the show. We will start with Danny, and we will give him a few seconds here to give his brand, where to find him, and then we will give Kevin the same adieu here.
Hey, follow me over on Instagram, 505_cigar_review. Video content is posted up on Rumble, 505 Cigar Review. You can also watch the videos on the Facebook page. You can follow me, Daniel Ravanelli, on Facebook, or the show page, 505 Cigar Review, over on Facebook. I'm always looking for new mediums to try and promote the content that's out there. And I appreciate all the love after my YouTube suspension that all of you guys in the comments, as well as the cigar community, came out in full force to help support me with trying to get everything moved and changed over. And also a big shout out to Kevin, who took his time out on that Sunday to help me get that Rumble page set up. I'd probably still be trying to figure it out if it wasn't for him. Kevin's such a great and solid dude, and we need more people in this world like Kevin out there. So thank you for having me on. I appreciate it.
Oh, sorry, Danny. I didn't mean to cut you off. I apologize.
I'm done. Thank you.
So, Kevin, the floor is yours.
I want to thank everybody for coming on and spending 2 hours of your Thursday night with all of us. As always, I am Kevin from Cigar Prop. And if you haven't noticed, I am coming to you live, or I have been coming to you live from the Drew Estate Experience Asset Studios here on the sunny Gulf Coast of Florida. You can find me at Cigar Prop on all the social medias, LinkedIn, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, you name it. I am out there, cigarprop.com as well. Also check me out at trashpandacigars.com. It's our new cigar line. We've got some fantastic cigars. We've got some vintage cigars on there. We've got cigars that have been aging 10, 12 years. So definitely check out Trash Panda Cigars for some cool vintage stuff, some killer merch. And then coming soon, we will be, we're waiting for multiples of cigars coming in. So hopefully by the end of this year, we'll have an inventory of about 30,000 cigars that will be able to offer everybody some cool stuff. So cigarprop.com, trashpandacigars.com. And thank you again.
So in wrapping up the show, thank you so much for my amazing guest, Cigar Show Tim. Give big shout out to him. Check him out on all of the platforms as well. Kevin Shahan over at Cigar Prop, and Danny Ravanelli. Kevin is somebody that I know that Danny and I both would consider to be mentors in this, and Kevin has been with me very much from the beginning. So it's always a pleasure. And one of the things that I love about all three of the guys that I've had on is if I ever need anything or need somebody to jump on a show, literally all three of them have always made themselves open to jump on. So thank you so much for the great guests I had on tonight. And as always, the show would not be made possible without these sponsors, Undercrowd, Drew Estate, Smokin' Cigars, K by Karen Berger, BAMF Cigars. Check out the promo code for 15% off both ROCF.cigars.com and BAMFcigars.com. You can get a 15% off promo to that. And as well as Christoph Cigars, too. They were one of the very first people I ever interviewed on the show. Jared is a very good friend of the show. Definitely check them out. And New Air Humidors. New Air Humidors is my corporate sponsor. They are a big sponsor as well. We have a lot of great things going on with New Air. Check my description below, and you'll be able to get a 15% off coupon for their humidors. And my brand new sponsor of the show that we are introducing this week is Axe and Oak. Thank you so much for Axe and Oak being part of the show, coming on, finding value in what we do. They're all cigar guys as well. So thank you so much to them for coming on and believing in what we are doing. And we have great things paired up with Axe and Oak as well. So to bring everybody back in to say a final thank you and goodbye, appreciate everyone watching. And until we see you all again, smoke what you like, smoke as often as you can. Have a great rest of your week. Thanks for being with us. Take care.